Hi, this is Brian Schiff with Functionally Fit. In this call, I'm going to show a few exercise progressions to really target the gluteus medius. This is a muscle that is often very weak in a lot of our clients. And I think depending on who you're working with, there can be a certain level of regression or progression that could be used to challenge a client effectively. So we'll start kind of with phase one here. And I like to go on the ground and stack the knees, kind of in this side plank position, if you will. I've got both knees just stacked. We'll go short lever. And phase one is just really doing a side bridge lift, instructing the client to push the bottom hip away from the floor or the top hip towards the ceiling. Hold that for a period of 3 to 5 seconds, and then you can kind of come down. If that becomes easy, you could consider doing the same thing and extending the arm here to add a little bit more difficulty, or perhaps they might need a little bit of support and the fingertips could be on the floor. So it's kind of like a phase one side bridge. And then if you want to go off of that and stay in that same position, we could give them some active clamshells while you're in this isometric side bridge position. So they have time under tension from that bottom hip, and then you're actively moving the top hip through a range of motion. You could further progress that and go into a banded isometric side bridge with a clamshell, or you could even go into a reverse clamshell. So you have lots of options where we have that side bridge position. We've still got a short lever arm. So the next phase, kind of phase two, would be to lengthen the top leg. We go into this same position, and now we're going to add in a little bit of this hip abduction while we're driving away. So we're getting a ton of activation on the gluteus medius in that down leg, and we're also getting activation on the concentric, eccentric movement of the top leg. So it's kind of phase two, if you will. And then for your more advanced clients, we can go phase three and go into more of a side plank bridge or isometrically holding here, and then go into up and down like so. In my experience, that phase three progression is awful challenging. People's form deteriorates pretty quickly, particularly when you add in that concentric, eccentric movement. So just vary your progressions or your regressions accordingly. Remember, time under tension can be just as effective as movement, and you can also couple the two together. So you've got some options here for effective gluteus medius strengthening. And you can program these either for time or for repetitions, but I would suggest 2 to 3 sets for each side.